I did a couple of videos here recently having to do with voting over this last week. I showed one about Vivek Ramaswamy saying that you shouldn't vote. Showed another one where fucking Matt Walsh says you shouldn't vote. And I always get mixed reactions when it comes to this kind of thing, right? Whenever I do any kind of content that has to do with elections or voting, I get surprisingly more pushback from the left than I do from the right wing. And it's because probably not a lot of right-wing people watch my channel. Right. Which is fine. I mean, whatever. But I always get a lot of pushback from the left. I always get a lot of pushback from leftists basically saying voting doesn't work, voting doesn't matter. And they like to call me a shit lib. That's the term they use. Shit lib, because I say voting is something that's important. Right? Even a video of Matt Walsh saying that you're too fucking stupid to vote. That was the last video that I put out. Even that pisses people off, and they don't like the fact that I even talk about elections or voting to begin with. It doesn't do anything. When was the last time voting did anything? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're supporting genocide, whatever. Here's the thing, folks, right? There's no such thing as rights. Like innate human rights that you're born with and that are guaranteed to you. That is not a thing. It doesn't exist. Rights are something you have to take because they won't give it to you. If somebody doesn't want you to vote, if somebody doesn't want you to have freedom of speech, whatever, they'll just take it. The government will just take it, and then you won't have it. And then you'll have to spend years and years and decades of struggle and strife to get that back. And I think people nowadays in the United States have grown very complacent with the idea of their rights. They've grown very, very because we've had for the last 50 years an increase of rights across the board. We have. Okay. Comparing the United States of today to the United States of 1960 is a major fucking difference. Especially when it comes to things like your rights and especially your voting rights. I don't think people nowadays really can grasp the kind of life, the kind of way it was back then, because they don't understand that all of your rights stem from the ability for you to choose your leaders and to not just choose your leaders, but to participate in your government, enfranchisement. A lot of people in this country, they take that for granted. And it's, yeah, okay, I understand that the system is corrupt, right? I understand that there are people on both sides of the political aisle who are corrupt as hell, and that's absolutely true. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't participate. That doesn't mean your ability to participate is worthless. Anybody who says that can just fuck right off, in my opinion. And I wanted to kind of do something to illustrate what it was like back then, because we don't have the context. Nobody my age or younger, I mean, even my age, I'm, in my 40s now. I never experienced the kind of institutional racism that somebody who was even 10 years older than me may have grown up in. I never experienced that, right? I never had anybody telling me that I had to drink at a different drinking fountain, or that I wasn't allowed to ride the bus in the front, or that I wasn't allowed to shop at a certain place in a store or use this bathroom, or that if I got sick, I wasn't allowed to go to this hospital or whatever. Granted, I probably would have gotten away with it. I'm essentially white passing, mostly. Right. It's funny, when people can't tell, people who try to guess my race, they always get it wrong. They always think I'm Latino, when I'm actually part Asian. They never get that. But still, I would have been one of those people in the 1950s and 60s who wouldn't have been allowed to sit at the lunch counter because I would have counted as a colored person. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think people get it. They don't get that it wasn't that long ago that we had the same kind of apartheid system in this country that you currently see in places like, Israel, right? That you formerly saw in South Africa. No, they don't understand that this was the United States in their parents' or their grandparents' lifetime, right? In fact, the majority of people alive in this country right now, well, I don't know about majority, but a very huge part of the people alive in this country right now experienced that when they were growing up as children. Or they may even have been adults, depending on how old they are. So I wanted to kind of show some things to you guys. Let's go ahead and save this for now. I've got a couple of things I want to go over with you. Let's kind of take this and just sort of minimize that. I want to show you the test that they would take. Now, this is admittedly a very wacky form of this literacy test that you would have to take. This is in Louisiana. This is one of the literacy tests that they offered. Now, there are different versions, and most of the other versions, admittedly, of this literacy test that I saw online were not this crazy. Some of them were actually just normal trivia kind of tests that anybody with a high school education could answer, but this actual test appears to be legitimate. This actually appears to be the real thing. This was a real test that you had to take in Louisiana if you could not prove that you had a 5th grade education. So here's the thing, okay? This is what they would give you if you were black, right? Not if you didn't have a 5th grade education. If you were black, you could show up, you could be a college professor, and they would still force you to take this test. Keep in mind also, it wasn't just this test. There was also other things as well. You had to appear to be an upstanding citizen. That meant that when you went to go vote, you had to dress in your Sunday best. If they thought that your clothes were too poor or that you weren't a citizen of character, they would deny you the test. You'd have to pay a poll tax. Remember, poll taxes were not illegal back then. So the thing is, the only people that would have to pay the poll tax would be black people. So poor white people would show up and they would go ahead and vote right away. If you're black, you'd have to pay a tax. Well, I mean, if you're poor, you can't afford the tax, you can't vote. A lot of places had things like grandfather clauses as well. They would say, well, if your grandfather couldn't vote, that means you can't vote either. These are all laws that actually existed not that long ago. 50 years. Well, I guess 1960 would be 60 years now, wouldn't it? Within the lifetime of my mother. Not that long ago, folks. 1960? I mean, shit. So let's go ahead and let's try this test out, okay? Now here's the thing. You have 10 minutes to complete this test. I can tell you right now I'm not going to be able to do it in 10 minutes. Do what you are told in each statement. Nothing more, nothing less. Be careful, as one wrong answer denotes failure of this test. One wrong answer. You have 10 minutes to complete the test. Okay. It is now 10:53. Let's see if I can do it in 10 minutes. Draw a line around the number or letter of this sentence. Around the number or letter. Number or letter of the sentence. What the fuck are they talking about? The very first one, it's already confusing. Well, I'm going to say the number of this sentence, so I'm going to draw a line around this one. Like that. Okay. Draw a line under the last word in this line. A line under the last word in this line. See how they word it just to make it a little bit confusing? The last word in this line, I guess, would be this. Cross out the longest word in this line. Okay, that would be longest. Let's see. Let's make that black. There we go. Draw a line around the shortest word in this line. Around the shortest word. See, they don't say draw a circle. That would make more sense. Now they say draw a line. So I'm assuming that means that. But does that mean is A a word. Maybe they'll say A isn't a word, A is a letter. I don't know. Part of these tests was that they're so weird and ambiguous like this, so that they can basically have multiple answers to each question so that you'll never fucking pass it. But anyway, continuing, we only got 10 minutes. Circle the first letter of the alphabet in this line. The first letter. The first letter of the alphabet in this line. Well, I would assume that means A, because A is the first letter of the alphabet, and this is the first instance of it, right? You know, we should be doing this in red, because it's kind of hard to see in black, right? Let's do it in red. So, yeah, A, this would be that. There we go. In the space below, draw 3 circles, one inside engulfed by the other. 3 circles, one... See how that's worded? One inside engulfed by the other, but there's supposed to be 3. So is it like this? I'm going to assume it's this. 3 circles, right? Like that. I'm going to assume it's that. But you notice the wording says one inside engulfed by the other. So there's only one of them supposed to be in it. So is it more like this? Actually, you know what? I think that's probably it. I think I'm going to go with that. Let's make this, let me see. I'm going to go with this. 3 circles. Because it says only one. One inside engulfed by the other. Right? So 1 circle and then another one engulfed inside of another one, right? Kind of what it sounds like to me. I mean, I like to think that I'm literate. Number 7. Above the letter X, make a small cross. A small cross. I guess like, what, a Christianity kind of cross? All right. Draw a line through the letter below that comes earliest in the alphabet. That would be B. Draw a line through the 2 letters below that come last in the alphabet. That would be Z and Y. In the first circle below, write the last letter of the first word beginning with L. I think that would be a T. God damn it. I screwed that up. Let's see. 10:57. We're totally not going to make this in time. This would be a T, right? Okay. Cross out the number necessary when making the number below 1 million. You notice it says number singular here. It doesn't actually say numbers. It makes it kind of sound like you should only cross out 1, right? Let's see. How many zeros is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'd want to cross out, we want to have below 1 million, right? So we only want it to be 100,000. So it would be like that, right? That's 100,000. Yeah, okay. Okay. Looking good. Draw a line from circle 2 to circle 5 that will pass below circle 2 and above circle 4. Pass below circle 2. All right. So it's from circle 2, but I'm guessing from the bottom of circle 2 that will pass below circle 2 and above circle 4. So something like that. Okay. In the line below, cross out each number that is more than 20 but less than 30. Okay, well, this is actually not that. Yeah, this is easy. Okay, 21, 22, more than 20, less than 30. So it says more than 20, so I'm going to leave 20 there because it doesn't say cross out 20. It says more than 20. See, here's the thing, folks, right? I'm kind of expecting weird-ass trick questions. But I know that most people who took this probably were not. So let's go ahead and kind of move to page 2. Okay. Getting close, folks. This is page 2. All right. Let's see. Page 2. Draw a line under the first H. And draw a line through the second letter. Draw a line under the first letter H and draw a line through the second letter after J. Okay. Under the first letter after H and through a second letter after J. Okay, like that. In the space below, write the word noise backwards and place a dot over what would be its second letter should it have been written forward. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Write noise backwards. E S I O N. And then dot over its second letter should have been written forward. That would be a dot over the O. Do I dot the I? What if I do a capital I? There we go. Haha, fuck you. See, that's the thing. If I were to dot the I, that might be considered wrong. Because you're not, it says draw the dot over this word. You notice that they use a lowercase thing here. Because they're trying to trick people into putting a dot over that. Anyway, 16, draw a triangle with a blackened circle that overlaps only its left corner. Alright. Blackened circle that overlaps only its left corner, like that. Okay. Look at the line of numbers below. Place on the blank the number that should come next. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Look at the line of numbers below. Place on the blank the number that should come next. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Easy. Draw in the space below a square with a triangle in it, and within that same triangle, draw a circle with a black dot in it. Alright. Now remember, you're supposed to do all this shit in 10 minutes, right? We're already at 8 minutes. So, and I'm only on page 2. Alright. Square, right, with a triangle in it, and within that same triangle, a circle with a black dot in it. With a triangle in it, then a circle with a black dot, like that. Okay. Spell backwards forwards. What the fuck? Spell backwards forwards. What the fuck? Does that mean spell the word backwards forwards? So you would just spell it forward, right? Like this. So I would just spell backwards. Right? Isn't that what that means? Spell this word backwards forwards, which means you would just spell it normally. Print the word vote upside down, but in the correct order. Shit. Upside down. That shit's not that easy. Alright. But in the correct order. Okay. So you'd have to spell it... Ah, crap. I made a mistake there. Let's just, let's see. Need to erase that. I've already kind of gone over time. We already failed, by the way. So I wouldn't be allowed to vote in Louisiana. But let's see. Let's continue on anyway. I guess like this is what they're trying to do, right? Is that right? Vote. Place a cross over the 10th letter in this line, a line under the first space in this sentence, and a circle around the last line in the second line of this sentence. All right. Jesus Christ. Okay. Place a cross over the 10th letter of this line. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cross. A line under the first space in this sentence. Okay. Nope. It's not there. It's here. See, I almost got that wrong. See? Actually, no, that's not right at all. This sentence, right, is actually this is one long-ass sentence. Up, see, I almost missed that one. It should be here. Because this whole thing is one sentence, right? It's like a long-ass run-on sentence with commas and shit. So that's the actual first space. See? Trick questions, man. And a circle around the last the in the second line of this sentence. The last the. Circle around this. The last the in the... Nope, that's not right. It's not it. It should be This is the second line, right? See, that's messing me up. I was thinking that it would be after that comma, but no. It's actually that right there. That's the second the in this last line of the sentence, because this is the first line, this is the second line. All right. Shit is tricky, man. Okay. Draw a figure that is a square in shape. Divide it in half by drawing a straight line from its northeast corner to the southeast corner. Then divide it once more by drawing a broken line from the middle of its western side to the middle of its eastern side. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Okay, so draw a figure that is a square in shape. All right, let's draw a square. Right. I know that they didn't have Photoshop back then, but I don't give a shit. You know, I'm using technology. All right. And then, let's see. Divide it once more. All right, draw a straight line from its northeast corner to its southwest corner. Straight line. And then divide it once more by drawing a broken line from the middle of its western side to the middle of its eastern side. Middle of its western side to the middle of its eastern side. So I'm thinking it would be like this, because this, usually the left is considered west. Even though on a piece of paper like this, it doesn't always match. But when you look at a map, left is usually west, and east is usually right. So is it something like that? I guess that's what it would look like. From the middle of its western side to the middle of its eastern side. Okay. Let's continue. We still have one more page of this. Remember, we have already failed. Let's continue on to page 3, which I think is this one. Okay, page 3. Here we go. 24. Print a word that looks the same whether it's printed backwards or forwards. Print a word that looks the same. So this is what do you call those things again? Palabra or whatever. There's a word for that. Looks the same whether it's printed forwards or backwards. Well, I know one. Race car. Whatever I can't remember the name for that type of word, but yeah, where it reads the same forwards or back. Okay. Write down on the line provided that you read what you read in the triangle below. You see that? It's tricky. See, it says Paris in the spring. That's the trick there, right? Because most people would ignore the second the in that line. See, these people are fucking, messing with you, man. Right? Remember, this was all done to stop people from voting. Weird-ass trick questions like this, right? Paris in the... Sorry, my really sloppy-ass handwriting. It's kind of hard to write on a tablet. I can't fit that on there, which means I probably would have failed, but I don't give a shit. Because I have technology. I'm using Photoshop to pass my voter test here. There we go. Bulakasha. Let's just merge that down. It doesn't really matter. Right. Right. Spring. I guess I'm assuming that if you wrote it too big, then you would also fail because it has to fit on the line. Let's see. In the third square below, write the second letter of the fourth word. So right here, we're going to put a Q. Write from the left to the right as you see it spelled here. What the fuck? Wait, all right. Let's read that one more time. Right from the left to the right as you see it spelled here. That doesn't make grammatical sense, doesn't it? Spelled here. No, it should just say as you see it spelled. It's there to confuse people. But I think what's going on is they want you to write the word right, is what I'm assuming. It says right. Okay. Divide a vertical line in two equal parts by bisecting it with a curved horizontal line that is only straight as its spot bisection of the vertical. Wow, fuck these people. Okay, vertical line into two equal parts by bisecting it with a curved horizontal line. So a line can't be curved. I mean, I guess it can be horizontally curved, but that's not horizontal if it's curved, right? You would just say a curved line, wouldn't you? So I'm guessing it's something like this. Oh, wait. Not like that. I'm guessing this is what they're trying to get at. You have a curve, and then it's straight, and then another curve. That's what I'm guessing. That doesn't make any sense, though, either. It doesn't. That seems funky to me. A curved horizontal line that is only straight at its spot, bisection of the vertical. See, you notice that, like, at its spot, it should say at the bisection of the vertical, shouldn't it? So they're writing it all funky and weird. Anyway. 29. Write every other word in this first line and print every third word in the same line. Original type, smaller, and first time ended at ended at comma. Oh, okay. So this is actually somebody copied this over onto a test, right? But capitalize the fifth word that you write. So write every other word in this first line and print every third word in the same line. So what is the difference between write and print? Shouldn't it be the same? So, but capitalize the fifth word that you write. So every other word in this first line would be every other. Do you start at right? I'm assuming the word right. And then capitalize the fifth word that you write. Every and then other, so that's number 2. Word in this first line and print every. But then the fifth one you want to capitalize, right? So the fifth one, I would want to actually capitalize the word first. Okay. Well, I'm not actually going to write every fucking one of these because this is bullshit, but basically the word first is the one that I want to capitalize, all right? But imagine I wrote the rest of those, okay? Fuck it, whatever. All right. Draw 5 circles that one common interlocking part. Let's read that again. Draw 5 circles that one common interlocking part. That have one common interlocking part? I'm assuming is what's that supposed to say? I'm pretty sure that they wrote that fucked up like that on purpose to confuse somebody. That one common interlocking part. What? That have one common interlocking part? Okay. I'm guessing 5 circles like this then. Like something like, let's say, this kind of thing, right? And then let's just stroke this. Let's see, stroke. I know this is cheating, but I don't care, because fuck it. So then, common interlocking part. How? How do you fucking draw 5 circles that have a common interlock? That's not possible. Like, they all overlap in the same place? Because they would have to overlap each other. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You can't make them... I'm kind of stumped on this one. One common interlocking part. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how do you draw 5 circles that only interlock at the same place? You can't. You can't, because they would have to interlock with each other. Like, if you, like, here, let's take 5 circles, right? 3, 4, 5, right? Common interlocking part. Now, do they mean that they all interlock I mean, the way I read this means that the part that they overlap with has to all be the same. See how these two interlap? Now, if I were to take this one and put it like that, that wouldn't be right because it's overlapping with these two in a different area than this. So, what the fuck does this even mean? I mean, if I had to guess, what they're trying to get at is maybe something like this, right? Like, maybe something like an Olympic kind of logo sort of thing. Maybe something like that. But to be honest, I really can't tell you. Like, does this mean like where they all overlap in like 5 circles that overlap with each other? Is that what they're trying to say? Like, yeah, that one's really confusing to me. Sorry, I'm not getting this. I'm assuming it's something like that. But the way that this is written, that doesn't seem like it should be like that. It seems impossible, is what it sounds like to me. Anyway, I just happen to have the answers to this test. Let's see here. This is from a website called Right to Vote. Sorry, it's from woodrowwilsonhouse.org. And these are the actual answers to the test. So let's go ahead and turn on my window. And we can see how I did. So let's see. And let me go ahead and open up my other things here so that I can kind of compare my answers. Now remember, I failed this roughly 9 minutes ago because you only have 10 minutes for the test. And not even 9 minutes ago, shit. 20 minutes ago I failed it. I failed it a long fucking time ago. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and go through here. So let's see. Draw a line around the number or letter of the sentence. So they have it over the word A, and I had it over the number 1. So right off the bat, I failed. I mean, I guess that could go either way, though, because it says number or letter of this sentence. Like, what's the letter of this sentence? You know what I'm saying? How is the first... I mean, do they mean the first letter of the sentence? Or something? It doesn't say that, does it? So, I don't know how this means the letter A is correct. Let's zoom in on this a little so you guys can see it. But whatever. This says that the word A is correct, so I got it wrong. Number 2. Draw a line under the last word of this line. Okay, looks like I got that one. That's cool. Number 3, cross out the longest word in this line. Got that one. Number 4, draw a line around the shortest word in this line. Got that one. Number 5, circle the first letter of the alphabet. They circled the A. I got that. Okay, in the space below, draw 3 circles, one inside engulfed by the other. So they drew it like this, which I guess I got that wrong. I drew it like that. That doesn't make sense to me either. It says one. It only says one engulfed by the other. But the correct answer, of course, is to draw all of them inside of each other. It doesn't say draw all of them inside of each other. It says draw one inside. So that is a trick question. And I would have got that wrong. Okay, number 8. Did I get that one? Got number 8. Number 9. I got this wrong too. This is how I did number 9. It says, draw a line through the 2 letters below that can come last in the alphabet. I drew 2 lines, but the correct line, the correct way to draw it is one long-ass line like that. So, looks like I got that wrong. I guess it does technically say draw a line. It doesn't say draw 2 lines. That's bullshit. Number 10. In the first circle below, write the last letter of the first word beginning with L. So there's a T there. Okay, I got that one. Cross out the number necessary when making the number below 1 million. They cross out the 1. Wow. So that was kind of strange. I mean, because I think I answered that correctly too. The way I did that one is I crossed out the zeros, which makes this number 100,000. But I guess they're right also, because if you just cross out the 1, then it's just a bunch of zeros, and that's below a million. I guess it does make sense because it just says the number. It doesn't say numbers. So I guess this is how you do it. That is really fucking misleading, dude. That's seriously fucking misleading. Because I didn't... because this... I mean, I guess it's a number. Like 00000. I mean, I guess that's a number. That's seriously fucking misleading, right? Okay, number 12. Looks like I got 12. That's cool. Number 13, cross out each number that is more than 20 but less than 30. Looks like I got that one. That's cool. Okay. No, I don't want to save changes. Let's go over to number 2 in the test. This one was kind of funky. All right. 14. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong one. I want to look at this one. Let's see here. Okay, 14. Draw a line under the letter H and draw a line through the second letter after J. Okay, looks like I got that. All right, in the space below, write the word noise backwards and place a dot over what would be the second letter. Should have been written forward. Looks like I got that one also, even though my handwriting is all weird and funky, but that's okay. Okay, draw a triangle with a blackened circle that overlaps only its left corner. Yeah. I guess mine technically is correct also. I just did it right side up. So, all right. Look at the numbers below. Let's see. Got both of these two. 17 and 18. Number 19. Did I get 19? Yeah, I also got 19. I just drew it upside down compared to them. Okay. Wow. All right, number 20. Spell backwards forwards. So I guess they spelled the word forwards but backwards. So completely got that wrong because all I did was write the word backwards because spell backwards forwards. It doesn't say spell forwards backwards. I think this is bullshit. I think this is incorrect. What they said, like, I think their answer here is not right because it doesn't say spell forwards but backwards. It says spell backwards, the word backwards, but forwards. So I think that's wrong, but that very well could be the right answer, and maybe they engineered it like that on purpose. Remember, the purpose of this test is not to actually test if you're literate or not. It's to keep you from voting. 21. Print the word vote upside down, but in the correct order. Okay, I got that. 22. Place a cross over the 10th there, and the second the. See, I almost missed this one, man. This is right. I got that right. Because remember, I was going to put I was going to circle this one, that one right here. But no, it's actually this. So score 1 on my side. I got that one correct. Okay, draw a figure that is square in shape. Divide it in half by drawing a straight line from the northeast corner. Then divide it once more by drawing a broken line from the middle of its western side to the middle of its eastern side. Okay. I think I missed this one also. You can see how they did it by basically it's like an X. And I wrote it like this. I wrote it like that. I guess what they mean when they say divide it once more by drawing a broken line, I guess they mean divide the line that you drew. Because that's what they did here. They divided the line that they drew with a broken line and not the square with a broken line, which is, I thought they were referring to the square. See? Trick questions, man. This is bullshit. Next one here, last page. Print a word that looks the same whether it's printed forwards or backwards. They just have the word I. I guess the word I is correct. My word is also correct, the word race car. Looks the same whether it's printed forwards or backwards. Oh, wait a minute. No. It doesn't say spelled the same. It says looks the same. Right? So I would be incorrect, because if I were to write this backwards, that would mean it would look like this. Like backwards. This is what they're talking about here, right? Like it would look like this. And then what you would do is you go to transform, right? And you do this. That's what it would look like. It would look like that if I were to actually write this but backwards. So I would have failed it. See, I thought, because it sounds like when you read the sentence, it sounds like a word that is spelled the same going forwards and backwards, right? That's the word race car. But no, it doesn't say spelled the same. It says looks the same. And so this is actually correct. The word I looks the same because it's like symmetrical. That's some misleading shit there, man. That is super fucking misleading. Okay. Here we go. This next one. Yeah, this was a trick question too. 25. Paris in the spring, because there's two thes. And they're banking on your brain not picking up the second the. 26. Letter Q inside of the square. Got that one. Okay. And then 27. Hey, I got 27 correct. That was a funky one too. Write the word right from left to right as you see it spelled here is really fucking... That's confusing as shit. But I answered that one correctly too. Okay, divide a vertical line in two equal parts by bisecting it with a curved horizontal line that is only straight at its spot bisection of the vertical. Yeah, so it's a curved line and then it's straight when it bisects. So I guess I technically got that one correct also. I drew it like this. But sounds to me like I got that right. Okay, and then here we go. So write every other word and then the word print. Okay, whatever. Number 30, draw 5 circles that one common interlocking part. Yeah, see, this one is funky. This doesn't seem right to me. One common... Because first off, it's like this sentence is using bad grammar on purpose. It should say that have one common interlocking part, or that share one common interlocking part, or something like that. It just says that one common, so you're not really sure what it should say. And this doesn't really meet that definition. This answer here, that have one common interlocking part? No, because this part that interlocks with, it's not the same as that. It's not common. It's not common to all 5 circles. I don't think there is an answer to this one. I think this last one is something they made up so that no matter what you put, it's incorrect. Right? That's what it seems to me. I'm thinking that whoever put this answer here thinks that was right, but that's probably not right. So yeah, we got a big fat F on the Vote to Literacy test. Remember, folks, these tests like this, they were there to prevent you from voting. So when you get somebody like Matt Walsh getting up in front of you saying that you're too stupid to vote, that you don't know enough about anything, and we should prevent people from voting who aren't deserving of it, which is exactly what he said, right? Remember, it's not about actually the intelligence of anybody and their intelligence and their literacy or whatever. It's not about anything like that. It's not about ensuring that you have the correct civics knowledge in order to make sure that you're worthy of the vote or whatever. It's all about preventing people they don't like from being able to have a voice in how things are run. They don't like that because they're fascists. The first thing that fascists do is limit who gets a voice, because they're not interested in actual democracy. You know, that's the thing about fascists, right? Fascists will use the tools of the tools of a democratic society in order to take power. And the minute they take power, they dismantle those tools because they don't want anybody else taking power. That's the same thing, that we saw in Germany. We saw it in Hungary with Viktor Orban, right? We see it in Turkey with fucking Erdogan, right? Or in Egypt, or in any other little country in the Middle East or in South America where some little tin pot 2-bit dictator takes over and enforces his will on everybody else. What's the first thing they do when all of these idiot authoritarian dictator assholes seize power? The first thing they do is get rid of free and fair elections. Have you ever seen an election in Russia? It's a joke. They will, there'll be Putin, and then there's the guy running against Putin, and then there'll be a guy with like a name that's just like the dude who's running against Putin, and he'll be put right next to him, and the guy that they get to do it will look like him, and so you won't know who they are. Enfranchisement, your ability to vote, is a precious thing. When that goes, everything else goes. And that's the thing with that. We don't understand that in this country, right? The kids today in this country don't understand that. They take it for granted because they've never had any experiences in their entire lives when they weren't enfranchised, when they didn't have rights. They didn't grow up in a time where people could just be openly racist to you and get away with it, and it was expected and nobody would do anything about it. They didn't live during a time where somebody could straight up call you the N-word or basically call you like a gook or something like that, use like slurs like that, right? Racist and homophobic and anti-Semitic slurs. And not only was it like nobody would, not only would that person not lose his job, that person would like not be held accountable in any way. There wouldn't be any shame or anything like that in any way whatsoever. But it was like expected. People just shrug their shoulders and be like, what are you going to do about it? Everywhere in the country. And people would get pissed and be like, oh, don't be a bigot, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But then nothing would happen. We live in an environment nowadays where all it takes is one little slip up and everybody gets canceled, right? For saying something the wrong way. And you see instant internet justice. It wasn't always like that. There very much was a time in this country where not only was it expected for these kinds of things to happen, but sometimes the laws even were on the perpetrator's side. And you had things like institutional disenfranchisement to a degree where you would go to prison if you tried to vote. I mean, that's why it's such a big fucking deal. That's why it's such a big deal. And that's why I really need to, I want to emphasize that even more. Like, we don't want those times to return because they will. That's the thing, folks, right? If you think it won't happen, you think that we're beyond that our society is immune to that kind of authoritarian, institutional bigotry and racism. Like, no. It can and it will happen if we allow it to, There's no reason whatsoever to think that if the wrong people get in power, all of this shit won't come back, because it will. And it can. And it's happened. Societies regress all the time in this world. I mean, just look at Afghanistan. Compare Afghanistan in the 70s to the Afghanistan of today. Compare Iran in the 1960s and 70s to the Iran of today, right? It doesn't take very much for a cultural revolution to basically strip away decades and decades and decades of advancements in human rights. right? All it takes is a bunch of fascists and religious fanatics to get basically to seize power because people were too fucking lazy to vote. So that's your first line of defense. Does voting solve everything? No. No, it doesn't. But it's your first line of defense. It's the biggest, right now at this moment, the biggest and most reliable tool you got in the shed in order to stop fascists and authoritarians from taking power. If you don't use that, one day you're going to regret losing it. Don't think it can't happen, because it can.
Hello folks, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider buying something from my Etsy shop, supporting me on Patreon, liking and subscribing, and checking me out across my social media links listed below. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.